Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer, where we take complex, sometimes dry concepts and turn them into crystal clear insights. Today, we've got a fantastic explainer lined up for you, specifically designed to totally demystify educational technology. If you're an upcoming Bachelor of Arts with Education student, or honestly, just anyone stepping into a modern classroom anytime soon, we're going to uncover the secret toolkit that transforms a traditional teacher into a truly empowered digital educator. It's going to be a fun ride. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll be decoding educational technology, looking at the hardware versus software approaches, tracing the evolution of ICT, discussing exactly why this is relevant for you as upcoming teachers, and finally, nailing down our core tech learning objectives. All right, Section 1, Decoding Educational Technology. Let's look at what we're actually dealing with here. When a lot of folks hear the phrase educational technology, they immediately just picture plugging a smartboard into a wall or turning on a projector. But the reality goes so much deeper than that. Guillaume Leith really hit the nail on the head here. He defines it as an application of scientific knowledge about learning and conditions of learning to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of teaching and learning. Think about that for a second. It's absolutely crucial to realize it's not just about flashy gadgets. True educational technology is deeply rooted in the actual psychology of how human beings learn. And here's the formal definition to back that up. Educational technology is the development, application, and evaluation of systems, techniques, and aids to improve human learning. So, what's the bottom line here? The chief role of this entire field is optimizing the teaching process itself. By applying these systems, you're actively increasing the quality of learning for your students while maximizing your own efficiency. You're basically working smarter, not harder. Moving right along to Section 2, Hardware versus Software Approaches. Now, to really wrap our heads around this, we have to understand a massive paradigm shift, the difference between technology in education and technology of education. Technology in education, that's the hardware approach. We're talking physical sciences, the tangible gadgets like computers, TVs, and tablets. But technology of education is the software approach. This is the intangible stuff, the psychology, sociology, and the teaching techniques themselves. It's kind of like a car, right? The hardware is the physical vehicle you're driving, but the pedagogical software, that's the navigation system and the driving techniques that actually make sure your student arrives safely at their learning destination. You literally can't succeed without both. Up next, Section 3, the evolution of ICT. To fully grasp the modern tools we use today, it really helps to look at the historical journey, which we can map out across 4 distinct phases. We started way back in Phase 1, relying on basic audiovisual aids, think old moving pictures and projectors. Then, Phase 2, the cybernetic phase, brought in these fascinating feedback loops and automated control systems. Phase 3 shifted gears entirely to the psychosociological phase, focusing heavily on behaviorism and how individuals learn in social settings. And finally, that brings us to Phase 4, our modern, hyper-connected ICT era. And this brilliantly illustrates how everything connects today. We are currently living through the convergence of information and communication technologies. Back in the day, a device basically did one thing, right? A radio just played audio. But today, satellite, terrestrial networks, broadcasting, and computing have all completely merged. Your smartphone or laptop can access texts, stream a video, and connect you to global libraries all at the exact same time. It's a massive, integrated web. Because of all this convergence, we use a broad umbrella term, information and communication technology, or ICT. Basically, it's a diverse set of technological tools and resources used to communicate, create, disseminate, store, and manage information. It combines all those converged broadcasting, telecommunications, and computing tools into one single, powerful, networked ecosystem. All right, Section 4, Relevance for Upcoming Teachers. Let's get really practical. So, I'm speaking directly to you right now, the upcoming Bachelor of Arts with Education student. Why does this actually matter to your future classroom? Well, I'll tell you. Mastering these tools is no longer just a nice little bonus for your resume. It is absolutely foundational to modern pedagogy. If you want to be truly effective, you have to speak the digital language your students are already speaking. It's really that simple. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world. Consider the modern blended learning model we're seeing more and more of today. A massive 80% of learning might be happening online, compared to just 20% traditional face-to-face learning. That is a huge shift. This proves that mastering ICT is an immediate, everyday requirement. You aren't just going to be standing in a physical room anymore. You're going to be managing a vast, interconnected digital ecosystem. And to manage that 80% online engagement effectively, you're going to need a very specific roadmap of tools. On one hand, you'll utilize synchronous technologies. Think Microsoft Teams and Google Meet for those live, real-time interactive sessions with your class. But just as importantly, you're going to have to master asynchronous technologies. We're talking about tools like Active Presenter or OBS Studio for recording self-paced materials and navigating platforms like the Moodle LMS. Knowing when to go live versus when to offer self-paced learning, that's the hallmark of a great modern teacher. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5. Core Tech Learning Objectives. Think of these curriculum objectives as acquiring brand new superpowers for your teaching toolkit. First up, you'll learn to use various ICT tools to actively support teaching and learning. You'll gain the ability to independently create and present interactive digital learning materials. On top of that, you'll develop the critical skills needed to access and evaluate the vast ocean of online educational resources out there. And you'll learn to use presentation and word processing software super effectively to craft engaging lessons. But wait, there's more. Beyond just creating content, you'll learn how to successfully participate in online learning environments. You'll also learn how to apply these educational technologies ethically and responsibly, which is so huge today when we talk about data and equity. And perhaps most exciting of all, you'll utilize emerging technologies in educational settings. Think cloud computing and Web 2.0 tools. The tech landscape changes incredibly fast, so your ability to adapt to these new tools is definitely going to be your greatest asset. Now, if you're wondering how you'll be graded on all of this, check out this course assessment plan. A solid 60% of your grade comes from coursework, practical work, and quizzes, with only 40% writing on that end-of-semester exam. So what does that tell us? It proves that hands-on, practical application is heavily prioritized over just memorizing a textbook. You are literally going to be building, designing, and creating from day one. So as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question to really chew on. Are you ready to transition from just being a consumer of information to becoming an empowered architect of digital learning? Seriously, the tools are right there, the pedagogy is established, and the modern classroom is waiting for you. Embrace this technology, and I promise you'll unlock incredible potential, not just in yourself, but in all your future students. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep learning.